guys, welcome and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time being here, thank you so much for stopping by and thank you for clicking on this video. In this video, I'm going to show you how I designed and embroider this applique shirt for my son. So I did this in Embroidery and Stitch Artist level 1, and I'm going to show you how I went in and how I did the applique, and then I'm going to show you how I embroider it. Now if that is something you're interested in, remember to hit that subscribe button, turn on that post notification bell so you'll be notified each time I make a video. So now let's get started in Stitch Artist level 1. Okay guys, so we are in Stitch Artist level 1. Now, the first thing I went ahead and I did was that I started a new page. Now, this is what it looks like if you're using Stitch Artist level 1. You are going to have just one set of stitches here. So this tells you that you're using level 1. If you're using level 2, I don't have level 2 or level 3, but if you're using level 2 or level 3, you're going to see right here, you're going to have another set of stitches and then another set of stitches. So I have Stitch Artist level 1, and I'm going to use this feature or the features of Stitch Artist level 1 to make an applique shirt for my son. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to figure out what I want this shirt to say. So all I need is this shirt to have a G and my son's name. So to do this, I'm going to go over here to this icon where you see this T. This is your true type art font. Now, the true type art font allows you to use the fonts that are already installed on your computer. Now, when it comes in, it's going to come in as artwork. It will not come in as stitches. Now, the difference between the true type fonts and this font right here, by clicking that A, this is already digitized. This one here is already digitized, and all you have to do is just type in your letters and you'll have them. But this one is gonna come in as an artwork. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna click on the true type font. Now what this does is that it shows you every font that is on your system. Okay, every font that you have downloaded, they'll show up here. Now, the one that I'm going to use is already there, which is one that is called Just Fine. It's a nice chunky font, and when you want to do things like this, you want to do them chunky. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go over here where you see text, and I'm gonna click on it, and I'm gonna write a capital G. Okay. Now you have the option to make it italic, or you could come down here and make it bold, extra bold, or heavy. I'm gonna go for bold. Then I'm going to press OK. So I'm gonna go back and I'm going to find that font, Just Fine. This is it. So I'm gonna click on it and I'm going to press OK. When it comes in, it's gonna look like that. I'm also need to let you know that for my hoop, I'm using a 5x7 hoop. Now, if you want to use a different size hoop, all you do, you go up here where you see preference, you're gonna click on it and you're going to select all the hoop sizes are here and you're going to select it. You can also change your format. I'm using a Brother embroidery machine, so I'm going to leave mine at PES and you're going to press OK. Okay, so when the G comes in, it's going to come in like this. What you could do, you could pull on the corners and size it to the size you want. Okay, You see this little green square, you could move it up or down or over. Okay, now this is not digitized as yet. This is just artwork. This is what you could use to make it into an embroidery file. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to size it the size I need. That looks okay. And I need a little at the bottom. So I'm going to make it a little smaller. When it goes outside the hoop, it will tell you. So for instance, if I drag this really big, you see it's outside the hoop. If you look down here, it's going to give you this red warning. It's just going to tell you that that is too big for your hoop. So I'm going to size it back. Okay. And I'm going to size it so that I have a little space at the bottom to write his name. Okay. This is okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and apply my stitches to this. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go up here where you see all these options. So for the applique, the applique is the fourth one at the top. Okay, so I'm going to click on it. And now, because I was playing around with it, it will give you the options. Now, if you go over here to your properties panel, you're going to see that you have different options. You could do it as an E-stitch, and this is what an E-stitch looks like. This is the option that they'll give you first, okay? But because I was playing with it earlier, it gives me the satin stitch. But if you look over your properties panel, you're going to have the border, what kind of border you want. I want a satin border. So this is what I want it to look like. It's also going to ask you to show if you want fabric preview, which I do, because when you do that tack down stitch that will come in, it's going to ask for position. I chose that, and it's going to ask for material. I want to see how it looks if I applied material to it. That is why I check all these boxes. Another thing you could do is to go over here and change the color. So I'm going to change this color. So I'm going to click on that black and I'm going to change it to a blue. So I'm going to type in blue and I'm going to choose a blue that I like. Doesn't really matter because it's your option, the one that you're going to use at the end of the day. Okay, so this is okay. And what you're going to do, you could go ahead and change the stitch width that you're going to use. So I'm okay with a 3mm stitch width. I think that is fine for this project. And the density, I'm going to leave it at 5. Now, the higher you go, the less dense it's going to be. Okay, so the less stitches it's going to take. The lower you go, the more stitches and the more dense it's going to be. But 5 is going to be okay for me. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type his name at the bottom. To do this, I'm not going to use the files that are already built in the system. I'm going to go back to my true type font and I'm going to use that same font, which is just fine, and I'm going to type his name, Gabe. And I'll leave it at normal and I'm going to press OK. Now, when you do that, you're going to see his name come up. Remember, as I said, this is not an embroidery file as yet. You have to turn it into an embroidery file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stretch this out. Okay, so for this one, I might just make it a little smaller so that it could accommodate this one right here. Now, what you need to notice is that these are all individual letters. They're not grouped. So in order for me to size them, I'm just going to select everything. Okay, and I think that is okay. This one, I'll take it up a bit. You could also change your start and your stop, wherever you want it to start, wherever you want it to stop. That's optional to you. This is stop. If you see this red hourglass that comes up, that's stop. And if you see the green hourglass that comes up, it is start. So you could change it wherever you want it to go. I could put my start to begin here and my stop to stay here. It just doesn't matter. It's just your preference. I could put both of them to start and stop there. It's just your preference. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm going to apply some stitches to this. But before I do that, I'm gonna click on the A and I'm gonna bring it over a little bit because it's too close to the G. Now this you could manipulate however you want. That's up to you. You could make it bigger, smaller, it doesn't matter. It depends on what you want. Now, I am just going to go ahead and add stitches to this. For these letters, I'm going to add the column stitch. Now, the column stitch is this icon, which is the third icon at the bottom row. I'm going to click on it and it's going to apply a column stitch to my letters. Okay. Okay. Now you could, for your column stitch, you could go ahead and you could make changes to it. Okay. So if I click on my G and I go over here, it will tell you to do change it to different things. You could change the color, which I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change the color, but then you can adjust the top stitch, and then you have the underlay property, how you want it to be. I'm going to leave mine at edge run and parallel. Then you have your tie at entry tie, but I don't use those. So go back here. You could change the pattern. You could change it to none, or you could change it to tatami, or you could change it to brick. These are just styles. Okay, so let's click tatami and see how that looks. No, I don't like that. Okay, let me go back to none and let's see how that looks. You see the B. Okay, I just leave it at none for now. But you could, these are just styles, pattern styles, like the scales or the, that's just all personal to you, what you want. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna change the colors of this. I'm gonna click on each of them. I'm gonna press shift and then I'm gonna go ahead and change the color. Okay, so I'm gonna go here, color, I'm gonna click on it and I'm gonna change it to blue because I don't want a lot of colors. And I'm gonna click on OK. Um, for this one, you could go ahead and change the pattern. Now, if you want like a tatami stitch, I could go ahead and change it to a tatami stitch. Basically is ready to be cut out. So what I'm gonna do, so this is, I'm gonna show you what it will look like if when it's stitched out. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to click on the stitch simulator and I'm gonna show you what it looks like when it's stitched out. So it's gonna do the placement stitch, then the tack down stitch, then it's gonna do the satin border. After it does the satin border, it's gonna start doing the name. See, and you tell it where to start and where to stop. All right, so this is what we're gonna have. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna save it as a stitch file, and I'm gonna save it as give appliqué. Then I'm gonna show you how this stitch out. Alright guys, to do this project you're going to need some appliqué scissors, which is the curved scissors. I'm using a gilden small shirt in youth. You're also going to need the fabric of your choice. Using this cute minion fabric, and you're going to need heat and bond. You're also going to need a heat source in order to press the heat and bond onto the fabric. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm gonna press the heat bond on. You're also gonna need a cutaway stabilizer. I'm using cutaway stabilizer, and you're gonna use your, I'm gonna use my 5x7 hoop to do this project. Okay, so my heat press is heating up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to prepare the fabric. All right guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take out the wrinkles out of the fabric. This is important. So I'm just going to iron it to take out the wrinkles. I believe this is more than I need. And then I'm going to put the heat and bond on. Okay, so what you're gonna do, there's gonna be a smooth side and there's gonna be a rough side. You're going to turn it wrong side, and you're going to put your heat and bond on the rough side on the fabric, and you're going to iron it down. Afterwards, you're going to take the paper off. So there's a piece of the paper that's at the back. You're going to peel that off. All right, so when you take that paper off, you're going to have this side that has the sticky side onto the fabric. The next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna prepare my shirt. I'm going to fold my shirt in the middle. This will help with hooping. So I'm gonna find the middle, and okay guys, so I went and I found the middle of the shirt. I'm just going to come down and I'm gonna use my marker just to help me to play for the placement. So what I'm gonna do, that center point, I'm gonna place it on my line. Okay, and I'm gonna mark the center here, center here. I'm gonna just use my fabric chalk to mark those points. Okay. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my shirt over. and I'm going to put my interfacing over there. Now, how I'm doing this interfacing is the area that I know is gonna be embroidered. I'm not gonna use the spray at that area. I'm just gonna use it at the corners just to tap down the stabilizer so that I could hoop the shirt correctly. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to spray here, and then I'm just gonna turn it over and just tack it down. Okay, that way the needle doesn't come in contact with the adhesive. That's just how I like doing it. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn it over, and I still have my fabric mark there. I'm gonna take my hoop. Remember, this part is the part that goes in the machine, so it should be turned this way. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to put my hoop under. I'm going to use my marker just to ensure that I have it at the right place. So that center point is what I'm matching up. Ensure that you open your hoop all the way so that it does not, it's loose enough to get there. Okay. Okay. This is much better. It's much closer than the other. Okay. All right, guys, so we have it in. Now what you're gonna do, you're gonna ensure that the shirt is, there's not a lot of fabric there, and you're gonna just close this so that it's tight. This is important. You wanna close it until it's tight, until it sounds like a drum. Okay guys, so this is what we have. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and get the image. I'm gonna click on that pocket looking thing icon. Then I'm going to get the image, scroll over. So this is it. I'm gonna click on it. I'm gonna press set, and what we're gonna do, I'm going to press embroidery. Okay, so now it's gonna do the applique stitch. Then it's gonna do the applique material, and then it's gonna do the blue. All right, so that's what I'm gonna do. For the applique stitch, there's black thread on, so I'm gonna keep it as black just for the placement stitch. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to put the okay guys, you have to be careful, because what happened is that my shirt got boggled underneath the hoop and it broke my needle. I had to change it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to put down my fabric. Okay, I'm gonna put down my fabric and I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna hold it for a little while first. So I'm gonna unhoop it. Alright guys, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use my scissors to cut away the excess fabric. Alright guys, so I finished cutting out the excess fabric. I'm gonna put it on for it to stitch out, the rest of it to stitch out. Okay guys, so this is the result of the shirt that we just did. It came out absolutely beautiful. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take it off, I'm gonna trim up the back, and I'm going to iron it so that it stays flat. But this is what we have just done. This is cut away, so I like doing it this way so that I know that I'm not gonna cut the stitch. Okay guys, so this is the final result of the shirt that we just did. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.